arrived. It's morning, and the forest comes alive with some of evolution's most unusual experiments. Fox, ring-tailed and crowned lemurs set out to forage for fresh leaves. But these lemurs are a long way from their native Madagascar. They're living in the southern United States at the Duke University Lemur Center, the largest collection of endangered primates in the world. Though amazingly diverse, all lemurs are descended from a single primate ancestor that colonized Madagascar more than 60 million years ago. From that one source, at least 70 different kinds evolved.
I mean, I always think of lemurs as being evolution's finest moment. They're just a spectacular array of animals in and of themselves. They're beautiful, they're charismatic. They go from a tiny mouse lemur size all the way up. At one point, there were giant lemurs that were the size of gorillas.
Madagascar is the fourth biggest island in the world. And of its 200,000 known species, 3/4 are found nowhere else on Earth. But humans have cleared the island of over 80% of its forests. And as the trees have disappeared, so too have the lemurs.
Madagascar is one of the most striking examples of large-scale extinctions in recent times. People first arrived in Madagascar maybe 2,000 years ago. And since that time, many very interesting creatures have disappeared, including 8 genera and at least 15 species of giant lemurs.
Right now, Madagascar is hitting the radar of a lot of mining companies around the world. However, there isn't really a plan for what's going to happen to the inhabitants of the forests that are going to be destroyed. And it's just a fact that the forests will be destroyed. The lemurs will lose their homes.
The Duke Lemur Center has created a Noah's Ark of lemurs, sheltering 200 animals from 20 different species. Some, like Titus, are the only captive members of their kind.
Titus is the only golden-crowned shafak in captivity in the world, and his population in the wild is critically endangered. Any primate that doesn't have another primate as a friend, I would say, is lonely. I mean, in general, primates are gregarious. And so I definitely think he'd be happier if he had a female companion. But we try to enrich him as much as possible, and he does enjoy the presence and company of humans, and so we try and do that as well, and just kind of make his life as comfortable as possible.
Scientists at the center are spearheading efforts to breed lemurs in captivity, uncovering the mysteries of their biology through trial and error. Today, they're hoping for another successful pregnancy with a red-ruffed lemur named Karina.
She bred about 2 months ago, so we're going to do a palpation initially to see if we can feel fetuses, and after that we're going to go ahead and do an ultrasound just to verify that if there are fetuses there, 1, and then 2, if they're viable and what their position is. And what we're going to do is start looking for the uterus and possible fetuses. So what I'm going to do is come around this way. Okay, so we have a fetus right here, right in that region. So this is the spine of a fetus right there. This is actually the beating heart right there. I think you may even have a threesome here.
Oh my
Nikki.
gosh.
You may have triplets.
Sorry, Karina.
How exciting.
We see ourselves as a safe haven for lemurs, with the ultimate goal of reintroducing species to Madagascar once the environmental situation is stabilized. The hope is that we can keep the species going, keep them genetically viable, and by virtue of having the experience of the free-ranging environment, that they are already sort of predisposed to know how to survive in the jungles of Madagascar when they get there.
Madagascar's president has promised to triple the country's protected areas. And conservationists are optimistic that at least some of the lemur's habitat will survive. But others argue that captive-born animals have lost the survival skills of their wild ancestors. With more and more species reduced to small, captive populations, many wonder if they really have any future in the wild.